Hello, and welcome to the ADF Development in Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse demonstration. My name is Juan Camilo Ruiz, and I'm part of the Oracle Development Tools team. In this demonstration, I'm going to be showing you the ADF development experience in the Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse 12c. We're going to create ADF data controls on top of existing business services based on the Enterprise Java Bean implementation. Then we're going to be using the ADF Faces rich client components, and we're going to be creating UIs using the bindings as well as the different property inspectors that the Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse offers. We're going to be creating task flows as well as showing you how to debug ADF Faces applications. So I'm in Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse 12c, and I already have an existing application. This application contains a model project which holds some entity objects based on the EJB 3.0 implementation. And these entity objects are based on existing database tables. I have already created a session facade that exposes my business services. From the Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse, I can easily generate a data control that will help me to expose all of my business services into the ADF Faces user interfaces. So after I create a data control, basically I have generated metadata that sits on top of my business services, and this metadata is going to be used by the different user interfaces later on. So now I can go into my UI project and notice that I have a page that I have created previously. Let's see how this page will look like. In this page, I have a search department form that basically allows me to input a string and obtain the departments that match the department name that matches that specific string. I have a link that is going to be using to display the employees, as well as an empty region that I'll be creating in a second. Using the outline, I can search for the different UI components within my page very easily, and I can identify the panel box that I want to edit. Now, going into my palette tab, I can pull in any sort of data coming from either my data controls, my managed beans, or my page variables. Let's use one of my methods that is searching for the departments. So I'm gonna be creating a graph, this time a pie graph, that exposes the different salaries from my employees. It assigns the last name for each one of the slices of my pie, and these employees are coming from the specific department that I'm selecting within my table. I can also modify directly the properties of my graph by using the code assistant within the code editor. So it's really easy, and I get the specific values that this property is expecting. I could also use the property inspector that divides in different areas the properties of my ADF Faces components. So this time let's add, for example, a partial trigger that listens to any event that is generated from the table. As soon as I type out, I can see my property added to the page. I can also jump into my page definition, which is the ADF model that puts everything together, my business services onto my page. And I can access really easy the business services directly from the code editor. Now let's take a look at how this graph looks and what is the interaction. So I search for the department, and now I see the graph into my page. The last thing I want to do is to fill in my last show detail item. I have created a task flow which currently contains one page. And also this task flow expects an input parameter called the department number. So you can imagine this department number is going to be used into my employee details. So I can now drag and drop my bounded task flow into my page, set the right value for my dep node or the input parameter that the task flow is expecting, and let's run the page. So now if I search for the department and I hit display employees, I'm going into my third show detail item, and that is my current task flow. It displays my employee details page. Now let's take a look at how can we enhance this task flow by adding some activities. First, let's add a router that is basically a decision point. And then let's add a couple of pages. One that will allow me to edit the employee details, and the second one, an error page. Let's create the different control flow cases for each one of them. And last, let's create a wildcard or a global activity to my task flow, which from any page, from the error or the edit page, will allow me to go back to the employee details. Now let me show you how to define the condition that will allow me to go to each one of the pages. So basically, I'm going to look for the page of scope manager ID. If this is different than null, it means that the employee has a manager. So I can go and edit this employee. If the employee doesn't have a manager ID, it means he's a manager. So in this case, I'm going to be going to the error page. The last thing I will do is just to show you the property inspector, how to bind or put everything together so the action goes to is editable. So it goes to my router from the actual button. So when I run my page, I display the employees. Notice that this first employee doesn't have any manager ID. If I try to edit this employee, I cannot edit managers. And if I try to edit the next one, which actually has a manager, I go to edit. Now let's see what the last nice feature of the Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse in terms of debugging ADF applications. So directly into my task flow, I can set up breakpoints, and let's actually try to see the manager ID that is coming into my router. So when I run the page, it comes into the debugging view or perspective, as it's called in Eclipse. I search for a department. I display the employee, and now this employee has a manager ID called 102, with ID 102. It hits my breakpoint, and now I can use the ADF EL evaluator to actually see the value within my debugging perspective. So for more information on Oracle Enterprise Pack for Eclipse, visit our page on the Oracle Technology Network. You can find tutorial, demonstrations, and also ask your questions on the discussion forum. Thank you.